So we begin, and most of us are here, our partners, but those who are joining us new, I would like to take you through the bio for our CEO, Mr. Ramin Mascalo, the CEO founder. Mr. Ramin is the founder and CEO of Opulence Global and the visionary behind Opulence Philosophy, the architect of the general direction of the company. This includes the development of the compensation plan, basic to advanced training and business expansion systems, building high-level strategic partnerships, and the overall marketing targets. Ramin spent 27 years in direct sales and built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses as a master distributor, becoming a self-made millionaire at the age of 25. It was in 2005 when he launched Global Wealth Trade, his own unique high-performance entry into the world of direct sales, when he was truly able to help more people more directly. After 16 years of successful growth in 204 countries and territories, in 2017, Mr. Ramin rebranded Global Wealth Trade to Opulence Global in order to highlight the company's cutting-edge products, compensation plan, and culture. When you walk in the hallways of Opulence Global, you quickly see that Mr. Ramin and his company are not new to vast accolades and winning awards, starting as early as age of 16 when Mr. Ramin won the world championship in the sport of wrestling and achieved 112 medals in the sport. Over the past 16 years, Mr. Ramin's company has been the most decorated company in direct sales industry with scores of media and trade accolades and awards, including from cover feature on the American Business Journal with Warren Buffett, Luxury Designer of the Year award by Viva International, first class inductee in the Network Marketing Hall of Fame, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year nominee. He was voted top 2 in 2014 and top 1 in 2020 as the top MLM influencer and trainer by Business for Home organization. He was interviewed at the Brian Tracy Show in 2015 and is the author of the ultimate training system in the industry, the Forensic Networker. Definitely, as you hear Forensic Networker, and as you're new here, what is Forensic Networker called? Forensic Networker is known to be the last word in direct sale mastery. It is the most exclusive advanced multi-level university. Forget about everything you have known about making money and building a business. With forensic training, your mind will shatter, mindset will shift, results will be mind-blowing. As a startup, you will reach 5-figure income. And I take the honor to invite our one and only CEO to share with us the forensic training today. Welcome, Mr. Ramin Mascalo, and a good evening to you.
Well, look, I gotta tell you, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're up and you look like that. I mean, this is someone who got up early, got prepared, got ready, and, you know, it takes commitment. Congratulations, young lady. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is what it's like. You know, we're going to talk about the most basic chapter of forensic tonight. That's basically, before we even start, this is the student qualification. And you're exemplary of that because, you know, everyone's capable of doing this, but not everyone's qualified to do it. Not everyone's willing to do it. How many people in Opulence or anywhere in the world are willing to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, get all dressed up, get all ready, just so you can serve the community, just so you can build yourself back up and become a leader? That by itself is rare. We're going to talk today about the 1% that make money, big money, because MLM is the highest format of making money in the world. I mean, sales is, and MLM is the highest income of the sales profession because it's leverage. But I mean, what you're doing right now, for you, you know, you got up, I say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. and you did it naturally, I'm telling you, that's the 1%. That's the 1%. So I want to congratulate you. I love seeing people getting up and doing it. You're serving the community. You're becoming better. You're showing your people, your team, what it takes to be a leader. MLM above all is about leadership. It's about leadership. People are generally confused about life. They are, especially about making money. So when people look at an opportunity in MLM, especially, they're not looking to what's the best product, the best comp plan. Most people are looking at which leader can I follow. Because they don't know. You can show up your lens or any other opportunity to anybody, a whole bunch of people. Some will see like the product, some will see the comp plan. And but at the end of the day, people will join, not the product comp plan, people will join, if money's their focus, they join the person. They join the person who's presenting it. Because if that person's strong, she's strong, I just want to be around her. I want to follow her. What you're doing is amazing. I want to congratulate you for 4 in the morning to do this. Wow, Look, guys, somebody says, someone would complain about that. Well, that's tough. So what's wrong with tough? I did a mantra about that the other day. What's wrong with tough? There's nothing wrong with tough. Yeah, since getting rich is tough, then you have to become one with tough. You cannot be one with if you're not with one with tough, then you can't, and since tough is where the wealth is, tough is where the desirability is, tough is where everything worth dreaming about is, then you should embrace tough. To me, sounds pretty easy. Where tough is where everything is. Go there. What's wrong with tough? You guys, I don't know if you followed me on Instagram, and Cyrus just won another championship. I'm so proud of him. I mean, he won a championship last year, first year in league basketball. He just second championship, went 12-0, undefeated, youngest one making the competitive team, and he's in the starters lineup. And I can tell you that young man works hard. And I feel bad. I've sat with him till 1 o'clock in the morning, try to catch up on his schooling, because as much as we support him and motivate him for his athletics, school has to be right there, because it's not one or the other. I'm telling you, it's not easy, because he gets up, he goes to school, they load him with stuff. He goes play basketball after school, and then he goes to another basketball practice. He plays for 2 teams. And then he gets home and he's got all this homework. And I'm telling you, he works hard. He doesn't have any time left. And there are times with school time I've sat with him where he literally just put 12 hours. And he sits there and he doesn't complain about it. He sits there, and sometimes he gets confused in his mind and algebra or something like that. You can see he's tired. But you know what? He's embraced tough. Because he understands, you want to be an NBA player, you don't complain about tough. Like, how many people get to NBA, right? School is not a choice. So you're going to have to do both. He doesn't complain about it. He's 14. He understands it. And he just embraces tough. It becomes one with tough. If desirable things was easy, it wouldn't be desirable. Everyone has it. The only reason why things are desirable because it's hard to reach. Not everybody can have it. It's not free. Welfare checks aren't desirable, right? Because people can get it. Making $1 million is desirable because it's hard to get. So, and since all desirable things are what tough is, embrace tough. I mean, it's like somebody says, behind that door, that's where the gold is. You were told where to go. Behind that door. You have to break through the door, but they were told you that's where the gold is. So I'm telling you, getting rich is not hard. It's not complicated. Maybe tough, right? Go where tough is. Now, we identify tough as something that maybe it cannot be attained. That's not true. Tough is a perception, by the way. That's all. Tough is, I thought when I was young, I said, there's no such thing as hard. There's such thing as trained and untrained. If you're untrained, it's hard. If you're trained, it's not hard. It's trained and untrained. That's it. So I'm chasing tough 24/7 now. I just turned 55. 55. Man, I used to think 40-year-olds were old. I was always, when I got into MLM, I was 20. I was always the youngest one in the room. When I made my million, I was 25. I was always the youngest leader there, right? And then 40 years old. 50 years out over the hill. Here I am, 55. But the point is this, I'm still looking for hard, embracing hard. You know what's hard? One of the hardest things I've ever done is starting Opulence. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, if not the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, is starting Opulence. Why? I was 36, I was a millionaire, I had a big house, I got my cars. I didn't have to start Opulence. In 2005, I did not have to do this. Well, I embraced tough. Went for it. I'm here, I'm 18 years later. I'm still embracing tough. You know what's tough? The billion. That's really tough. It's really, really tough. What do we say after everything to the billion? And people don't even ask me to make a wish anymore. Birthday cake, whatever, Christmas, whatever. They don't even ask me. They know I have one. That's it. 1 to the billion. Somebody says health. I can take care of myself. I don't leave that to God, right? It's my job, not his job. Happiness, that's my job, not his job. I have control over that. I have control over my health. I have control over things. The billion is what I need his help for. And I'm going after it. Tough. I'm doing it. Me and God have an interesting relationship. I've had this for over 20 years. I have some tough talks with my God, right? Yes, it's my God. You should all have your God, right? It's yours. Embrace it. Take it. It's yours. And we all have one little conversation with our God. So here's some side talk. It's not even in my notes. But every night I go to bed, every night. Since 1994, 5, I think. I started doing this a long time, 30 years ago. So that's when I didn't have a lot of money, right? And I started saying, look, and I still understand how energy works. So I start to talk to God every night. I still do it every night. And Cyrus does it every night. He's learned it. He's been doing it since he was like 3 or 4 years old. He's 14 now. So this is how we fall asleep every night. I think about, here's a secret for you. You want to get the stuff you want? This is what you do. I think about every night the 4 or 5 things that are really important to me at that moment. Because it will evolve, right? Things will change. You achieve some of them, whatever. It'll change. One of them is, I'll tell you what it is. I'm not sure about it. One of them is, I asked God, I said, listen, I want to be in perfect health because I'm very clear about what I asked for. Meaningful, specific, right? Meaningful, specific. And die at age 95. So I didn't say I want to live to age 95. No, I want to be in perfect health because you could be sick at age 95. You don't want that, right? You got to be very, very clear about that. So 95, that's what I want from God. Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing in a minute. Explain to you in a second how it works. 1, for me, my son, everybody. 95, perfect health, take us away in our sleep. 2, the billion. The billion. Bring the company to the billion. So I asked a bunch of things, right? Sometimes, when you're younger, you ask for some cheesy stuff. Oh, I want to get the Lamborghini, whatever. You all go through that, right? And so whatever that 5 or 6 most important thing is for you at that moment, you should be asking that till you achieve it, check, 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 then you replace that with something else. So here's how God works, by the way. And I tell my God this, and you should be telling your God this. I said, listen, God, from what I understand or what you want is that for me, A, to know what I want specifically, clearly, clear vision, what I want. I just give you the 5 things or 6 things I want right now. I'm very clear about that. I'm going to bug you about it every night for the next 60 years. Here, help me check mark that, right? So it's very clear what those things are, 5 or 6 things. Second, first, you know what it is. Second, you have to put energy towards it every single day. You have to put energy towards those 5 or 6 things every single day. Get to work. Work towards it. Think it, work it, any action. It doesn't matter what the results are. Energy, put energy. You deposit energy, you get back energy, you get back results. So my job is to know what I want, 2, put energy towards it every single day for the rest of my life. 3, it's your job to facilitate it. Because I don't know how it's going to get there. I don't know how this company goes to the billion. I have no idea. I have no idea how this company got here. When you launch it, this was my home office, and it started to grow, and 7 office expansions later, 18 years later, here we are. I don't know how we get there. I'm not God. He's God. My job is not to know. My job is to know what I want. And 2, put energy towards it. I know how to do that. God's given me the ability to know what I want. And God's given me the ability to put energy towards it. That's my job. The third, how we get there is his job. He facilitates the target. And I do this every single night. You know what happens after a while? Then it's a great way to fall asleep, because then you're gonna know it's a routine, because it's a routine now. You know, you've done it for like years, right? And then not 90, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 times, you actually fall asleep in the middle of it. What a beautiful way to fall asleep. By the way, things happen during your subconscious mind, not conscious. You're conscious right now. Nothing happens, you're conscious. Conscious is where you get information, right? And you do things. How your universe, how it facilitates everything you want is through your subconscious. Now, twice a day, that you actually hit your subconscious mind. Twice a day, every day. Now, if you get the right stuff in there, you're going to start check, 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 because that's where the universe aligns itself to create to turn your energy into what you want. Your subconscious mind only comes on twice a day. One is when you're about to fall asleep. You're half asleep. You're kind of about to, you're reading a book, watching TV, kind of, right? That. The subconscious mind comes in. 2, when you're about to wake up, you're half asleep. So every time you're like half awake, that's when your subconscious mind is actually working. That's why they say before you go to sleep, read something inspirational. You want to fall asleep with that good stuff. Not let during the 8 hours that you're sleeping, let your subconscious mind. That's why I do my 5 or 6 things before I fall asleep. Because over the next 8 hours, I want my subconscious mind, I want my God to be working on that. The last thing I want to go to sleep with is the things that I want, not what's on the news. Worry about this and that, and not. I want, when I'm going to sleep, I want my God to be working for me. And what I don't want him to do is worry, but for him to facilitate my worries, because that's what he would do. Whatever you think about comes about, right? So I think about the 5 or 6 I want. By the way, when you fall asleep on those 5 or 6 things, that carries next 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever you're sleeping, is actually working on those 5 or 6 things. And you're going to wake up to those 5 or 6 things. So your subconscious mind wakes up to those things. That's how you check mark things. That's how you create, you facilitate things. So none of the stuff I just talked about is actually part of the training today. But it all came down to, this young lady right now, 4 o'clock in the morning, hosting this call. embracing tough. It wasn't easy to get up at 3 and shower and look all good, and it wasn't easy. Some of you would complain about that. But you know the 1% that control 96% of money? They embrace tough. 9 o'clock at night now, 9:30, I'm at the office. A lot of people would say, I would complain about that. If I had that money and those cars and those mansions and whatever, I wouldn't be at work. Yeah, it's tough to be at work when you have those things. But I'm always looking for tough. Because tough is where everything else that I want is there, including creating 1,000 millionaires, you guys, getting some of you guys there, getting us to the billion. So the 1% embrace tough. So forensic network is about tough. It's, you know, when I wrote this book, it wasn't about being easy. As a matter of fact, for the first, I don't know, 10 years or so after I wrote it, I wouldn't allow new people to actually see it because I thought it was too heavy for them. I didn't think they needed it. This was designed for the millionaires. You'll become a millionaire, this is what you do. If you, or you want to get to 10,000 a month quickly, it's a fast start, 12, 18 months, this is how you do it. So if you're going to get to 10 grand a month in 10 to 12 months or 14, 18 months, whatever, and you can't do that in a lifetime, you don't expect it to be easy, right? We expect it to be. Put in a chat. If you go to something in 12 to 18 months, you can't do it in a lifetime in the job. Do you expect it to be easy? No. What do you expect it to be? Tough. But you want a 10,000 a month? Yeah, but that's where it is. Your 10,000 a month is where tough is. Go get it. You got your roadmap. It's right there. So I created this. I said, you know what? I'm going to show people tough. Because I wrote a mantra the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it. By the way, if you guys don't know my forensic pages, I don't know why you're not there. I don't know why you're not there. I've been doing this for 24 years now, you know, and been preaching this to over 1 million people in the last 30 some months. Why aren't you not there? So go to Instagram, Forensic Networker. Go to Facebook, Forensic Networker Nation. Subscribe. Just be there, read the stuff so you get my stuff. So one of the mantras I did this week was, most people, they living in a life that they don't really like. But expecting one day they're going to wake up to their desired world, to the life that they want. They think someday they're going to wake up one day as if the reality is a dream. The reality is a dream. So one day God wants, or whatever, maybe one day, you know, I'm going to get it. So they were expecting one day to wake up to the life that they want. That's most people. That's vast majority of people. Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Someday I'll wake up and I live the life that I would dream about. That's most people. And then you got to select few that they're very clear that they're actually living the reality. It's not a dream that someday they're going to wake up into something better. No. There's a few people, small percentage of people, that are very clear that this is their reality and they're living the reality, and it sucks, but they're living it. They're clear. It's not going to change. It is the reality, right? And because they're clear on that, they're always looking for the exit, that opportunity, the exit. And you know what? They'll eventually find it. They'll eventually find it. They look for tough. They embrace tough. They go take the tough. Be tough. Become one with tough. And become a success story that you hear about everywhere, right? This so-and-so was this and become that. But vast majority of people, they just come do the same thing, hoping to wake up one day and things change. That's not how it works. So I create Forensic. You want to know how to make 10,000 a month soon, quickly? It's a fast track. You want to go full-time 6 to 12 months? Go full-time? We make a full-time income? That's what Forensic is. So initially, because a lot of people come to our industry part-time, right? And wow, they think they're part-time. They're really sometime, right? But they have a job anyway. I thought maybe this is something too heavy, because I had bought the story that's, just like the rest of you. Well, most people want to make a few $100s or whatever. The fact of the matter is, you may be making a few $100s, but if that's all you want to make, you won't make it in this business because there's volatility in income. A few $100 and it becomes nothing, and then you quit, right? But if you target, and besides, it's too hard to make, to try to make a few $100s with an opportunity like this. Maybe I don't need to do it. But if you're thinking that no, I'm going to make 5 times my job income with this business, now you embrace tough. Because you can't do that with your job. Your job is tough, but it cannot give you that opportunity. Now you say, I'm going to make 5 times my income, 3 times my income. I'm going to go full time. I'm going to make a millionaire. Dare to dream. I'm going to become one of those millionaires that I see around me. We have them in this company. So then all of a sudden, it's not tough. All of a sudden, when you look at the potential here and what's happening, what can happen, your job becomes tough, right? But again, I would say, what's wrong with tough? Your job is not easy. It's tough, but you embrace it every day, right? You embrace it every day. Your job, who says a job is easy? It's easy to get up in the morning and take the traffic and go to your work. Between your traffic and your job is like 10 hours on the road away from your kids and family and all that stuff. That's tough. I would say that's tough. It's tough, but you do it every day. You embrace it. You become one with that. And you do it for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. So become one with opulence, with your own business, with forensic. Become tough. Look at accelerated plan, 6 to 12 months, full time. Wow. Imagine you've done your job for 20 years. You've done 10 jobs in 30 years. Where are you at, right? That's tough. You embrace that. It's tough. Now, what if you embrace, forensic next 6 to 12 months, 18 months? Embrace it. Embrace that tough and see how your life changes. So that's what it is. It's an accelerated plan to the 5-figure income. We had dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people who've done it. In this company, who've done it. But, doesn't stop there. What if you dare to dream to become one of the forensic millionaires? We've created 17 of them last 30 somewhat years, 17 millionaires in our camp. So it can be done. The 4-minute mile is broken many times. And I'm telling you how they did it because I thought that it's forensic. So you get a chance, but you got to embrace tough. Don't be afraid of tough. Embrace it. Now, I used to do forensic seminars, and I used to go like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, like 12, 14, 15-hour days. And boy, I tell you, that's really hard on the brain. So forensic is kind of funny too, because I have a lot of jokes in that for that reason. Because, I believe as long as your stomach's moving from laughter, your butt doesn't hurt as much, right? Your brain kind of gets a break. But I tell you, people were exhausted. They would, even after 12-hour session of forensic networker, they're just mush, but they wouldn't move. They don't want to leave the room. They're taking it in because they see the transformation in them. I can tell you, everybody who's come to forensic seminar, whether they're populous or not anymore, I still talk to some of them. They say they're not the same person after that seminar. It will change you in many ways. I got some people in different industries now. They're saying they built large companies now in different things now, and that they're still crediting the forensic networker seminars for the discipline. So this is a big deal. What I did, though, it was a lot, so I decided to break into this massive course. I decided to break into 4 different areas. And so this way makes it a little bit easier for people to digest. And there's another thing, too. I kept adding to it because I'm a biggest student of the industry myself, so I kept on adding to it. And I like to evolve forensics, so it's more relevant for today, not what I did 24 years ago. So level one, into 4 different levels. Level one, I call it perfect launch. A lot of people come to our industry, they don't really know how to launch. They bring their habits into this industry. Listen, your habits, how you were, how has brought you to where you are. So obviously you want that change. That's why you're here. Those habits are not going to create a change. So I created something called a perfect launch. We're going to change a lot of the paradigms that you have, and we're going to, shift you over to what you need to become. For things to change, you have to change, right, Jim Rohn? For things to get better, you have to get better. Those things are not just something that, we say because you got to get that. You got to get that. You got to evolve. I could talk about that in forensic. You got to become a better version of yourself. If you're not evolving, somebody says, how do I make a lot of money in this industry? First thing I say, you got to evolve. You can't stay the same and expect a different results. Somebody says, I want to make an extra $500 a month. Okay, it's not that hard in our plan. It's not that hard to make extra $500 a month. But you're not making that $500 a month now, right? You're not making it now, but you want to make an extra 500. That means you have to pick up some skills, right? You got to pick up some stuff, change a little bit. You got to evolve. This is a good word, evolve, right? You want to make extra 500, but you're not making it now. If you're going to make it, you got to pick up some stuff. You got to evolve, change, become a little bit more of yourself, a little better version of yourself. Evolve. Somebody said, I'll make extra 5,000 a month. Okay. No, it's not that hard, but you got a bit more money, more time into it. It may take a bit longer. You got to evolve more, pick up more skills, put in more time, get some longevity, because nothing happens unless you have longevity. You're going to evolve more. You're not making $5,000 a month now. If you want extra 5,000, you can't stay the same. You're going to evolve, pick up new stuff, right? Somebody says, I want to make extra 50,000 a month. Okay. You got to evolve a lot. Now, you don't have to become a different person. You don't have to become me or Renee or Reza or Shay. You don't have to become a different person, but you just have to evolve more. You're not making extra million now, 50 grand a month now. So what does that mean? It means you have to evolve. So I'm giving you all the stuff. You got to keep on picking this stuff up with the right people, right information, evolving. So the perfect launch is all about that. How do we take you from where you are that brought you to where you are? Let me repeat. How do we take you from where you are, how you are, that brought you to where you are, evolve enough to take you to where you want to go? And that's the perfect launch. So it's got 5 or 6 chapters of different things, building a foundation, building a promise list, give you some basics of how to build an MLM business and opulence business and your mindset and some managing expectation. Again, all that's called what? Evolving. Put it in the chat. You can't stay the same and expect to get better. So stage 1, I remember I did the perfect launch of, I've done many times, but a little while ago I did it for Iran. And it was like 7 hours. Just the first section of the forensic network. And I was rushing through it. Usually the perfect launch would take a 12-hour day at a seminar. Second section is called the momentum. Everything in life is about momentum. To win anything, you have to have momentum. You have to have momentum. In sports, you always hear, but that team now has momentum. Momentum is what helps you win. So I teach that the 3 levels, the 3 phases of momentum. There's a whole bunch of chapters about how do you start momentum, sustain momentum, advance momentum. That's the second level. The third is called the leadership. Above all, we are in a leadership business. MLM is about a leadership business. People will follow you because they think you can lead them somewhere. They don't see that in your product. Maybe they can think they can sell something, make some cash, fine. That's not going to change their life. Maybe, they think they can recruit a few people, no or not, that's fine. But what gives them the charisma foundation to get in is following somebody strong. People are attracted to strength, not weakness. The leadership. Somebody said, I'm not a leader. Everybody's a leader. I have a chapter on that. Everybody's a leader. You know, Mark Yonell, I mean, God bless him. I love him. He's legend. Was one of the few that I call was my mentor. But we debated about this, him and I, when he was alive, because he thought, he was of the opinion that leaders cannot be found. Leaders cannot be created. It has to be found. I don't agree to that. And even today, I don't agree to it. I think everybody has leadership in them. Everybody. Now, because somebody may not have the leadership skills, say in MLM, because they just don't know how to do it. But that same person, look other areas of his life, whether as a father, as a coach, in the kitchen, at his work, job, whatever. You see him showing leadership everywhere. You see the same person as I'm not a leader in MLM. All of a sudden, at his job, he's Hitler. You know, as at home, going around, do this, do that. You know, maybe he's doing a camp for kids, whatever. That means he's got it in him. He's just not trained in MLM. So everybody has leadership skills. Everybody. So how do we bring some of those attributes and connect that into this new set of skills called Opulence Global or MLM direct sales? So that's the leadership. Phase 3 and chapter 3, level 3 and level 4 is called Forensic Ambassador. This is where, you know, now forensic, as you know, it's not really the opulence training, right? We got the opulence training on Saturdays. You get the opulence training on Monday and on Saturdays. Plus your upline, you got the prosperity book. Those are the opulence training. Forensic is separate, right? It's at my other company, but then you have access to it. So once you've mastered the opulence training, you can start being trained on forensic, and they can become a master forensic ambassador. And hopefully when I retire, travel the world, and we do forensic seminars for everybody and bring everybody from MLM sometime confused and frustrated, turn them into a pro, an MLM professional through the forensic system. So yeah, I broke the system down, forensic down into 4 different categories. And you guys are right now on chapter 1 of the first level. Like, this is where you're at right now. So I always say that, you know, the forensic is a guaranteed system. Like if you follow it, you're going to get there. It's a guaranteed 5-figure monthly income system. I know that because I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens do it, right? Of course, a lot more people don't do it, but it's because, again, they're just not disciplined enough. It's like this. If you go to a gym and say, okay, what percentage of your people who actually bought the membership actually became top-notch fit from this membership? You know what number you're probably going to get? Not even 1%. Maybe 0.00001% actually took that membership, turned it into something amazing. The rest didn't show up. Or if they showed up, they kind of, you know, came there for the steam room, right? Or did something. At the end of the day, it's no different here. You know, it's not like the gym had everything you needed to maximize it, right? They had the equipment, they got the trainers, they got everything, but you didn't even go. It's the same here. I got forensic, it takes you to 5-figure, 12 to 18 months, right? If you follow it, some of you have done it, whatever. If you follow it, you can get there. But then you have to embrace tough. Yeah, I can, you know, I saw it, I tried it, I went through it, yeah, you know, but it was tough. So what's wrong with tough? Don't get me started again, right? Because tough is where everything is. So, I think most people, I think the ultimate target for them is to go full-time in their MLM business. What a beautiful dream that is, right? Being able not to actually go to work and make work money, right? Or double the work money, or 10 times the work money and not actually have to go to someone else's job. It's insane. So a lot of people in the first 10 years of forensic, 15 years of forensic, was people who are part-time, serious, or full-time. So when they came here, so when I say it's tough, here's what I mean. Renee is on the call, right? When Renee started, he had a full-time job, right? He's our youngest multimillionaire. He had a full-time job, was a programmer, he was 20-something years old. You know, good job. He works for TELUS, programmer. He's 20-something, he's making 100K a year. So at the end of the day, it's a good job. This is 15 years ago. That was good money. So what did he have to do to become a multimillionaire here with us? Well, he had a job at TELUS. Then he would come after work to our office every day with guests. So essentially he had 2 jobs. Somebody said, well, that's tough. The man's got a check of $107,000 a month. You know what stops? Spending $107,000 a month in 30 days. You know, so but it's a fun thing, right? So at the end of the day, you got to do that. You got to do that. So at a very, very young age, what? I mean, we had a joke for Renee. You know, people go, you know, maybe, I don't know, change their shoes once a year. He'd just buy a new $1 million property every year. Right? Imagine the same programmer, young guy who came. He just worked it hard. He embraced tough. He embraced tough. I remember he would come after work, he's exhausted. He got in trouble at work too, because now he's making, you know, I don't know, 5,000, 6,000 after taxes at work. And he's making 20,000 here. I think that distracts you at work, and he got distracted, right? So here he is, what, 15 years later. All right. So student qualification here is basically, you have to become a part-time serious. When he says, somebody says I'm a part-time, what they're really saying is that they are sometime. They don't understand the difference between a part-time or a sometime yet. Now, one of the chapters, forensic, the most famous chapter in the whole MLM world for the past 23 years, is a chapter of forensic called The 8 Categories of Involvement. The 8 Categories of Involvement. What I did was basically, after building teams of 100,000 people plus, I took all of my experience, all my teams, different companies, and I categorized MLM network workforce into 8 different categories. And so it's called 8 Categories of Involvement, because you ask the amateur, the uninformed in MLM, how many types are there in MLM? They say, well, part-time and full-time. Let me tell you, a lot, when people come to my seminars, and some of you guys have been, many of you guys have been, a lot of the full-timers realize all of a sudden they're not even part-timer. They're a sometime. They're a social group. You know. So that's what I call, that's what I break it down to 8 different categories. It's quite an awakening when you go through that seminar. So MLM has a very low success ratio. I blame that into, you know, I guess a few different things. I think 50% of the blame, because it is the greatest industry in the world, right? It's the highest paying industry in the world. Tell me a job that you can go apply for and say, hey, here's a $4 million offer. There isn't any, right? You can't go to a job. There's not a franchise that, you know, you buy, even McDonald's. Nobody comes and says, oh, here's a $4 million comp plan that goes with your job with this friend. It just doesn't exist. You can join our plan and say, here's a $4 million comp plan, right? So it's the greatest opportunity. Why isn't that, you know, in MLM, I mean, there's good companies who have good compensation plans, or some go bad, whatever, but at least you got an opportunity to make money in MLM. So why is it that we have such a low success ratio? Well, about 50% of the time, the cake goes to you guys, right? The participants. They don't really know that they don't know. They think they're doing it, but they're not doing it. But they don't know that they're not doing it. They think they're doing it. But they don't know that they're not doing it. They don't know that they don't know. They think they know, but they don't know. And of course, they keep doing that. And 3, 5 years later, 3 months later, 6 months later, I'm not getting results. It didn't work for me. That industry doesn't work. Or that company was a scam. They just don't know. They just don't do it right. They didn't evolve. They came with the same unsuccessful habits into this beautiful industry, and oh, the industry doesn't work. If you don't know how to drive, it doesn't matter if I put you in a Kia or Rolls Royce. You're going to drive it the same way, right? You're going to drive it the same way. You're not going to enjoy it. So you got to evolve. You got to learn stuff. Read that 600-page book that an S63 AMG has to understand all the options. You know, the $1 billion worth of research that's gone into every little button that's sitting in there. You got to evolve. So MLM comes loaded with great stuff. People come into it, they never explore it. They never understand it. They never press the button. They never read the catalog. They never become pro at it. They do the same thing. They drive their Rolls Royce, same bicycle that they were riding all their life, and they say, doesn't go any faster. You know, it reminds me of the joke here. There's a guy who used to cut trees. There's a forensic joke. Cut trees for a living, so no matter what, he would just cut. There's a professional. He could cut 3 trees a day, no matter what. But if he could cut more trees, he'll make more money. So he goes to Home Depot and says, listen, give me this sharpest saw that you have. He keeps buying saws, and he can only cut 3 trees. No matter what saw he bought, how sharp it was, he can only cut 3 trees. He goes back to Home Depot and says, this doesn't work. I can only cut. He says, why don't you take a chainsaw? I mean, what's a chainsaw? Well, chainsaw, you can cut 30 trees a day. Oh, okay, give it to me. So he buys a chainsaw. He goes there and comes back the next day complaining. He says, what happened? I can only cut 3 trees. It's impossible. You can only cut 3 trees with a chainsaw. It says, nope, I'm a professional. I know I can only cut 3 trees, the same as other ones. He said, let me see your chainsaw. He pulls it out, goes, and the guy says, what's that noise? He never turned on the chainsaw. He took the chainsaw and he's still doing the manual work, right? So this is what happens in MLM. People come here with the same habits. They never utilize the compensation plan. They never go through it. A lot of you guys haven't even explored the taste, the 12 epic ways you can make money here. You haven't even explored it. You don't even know how to, you haven't even explored it yet. You're making money maybe in a wholesale profit. Maybe you check group because it just grew, right? You're not qualifying for the MGRS. Some of you guys do it every month. Maybe not qualifying for the car club. Some of you guys do it every month, but some of you haven't. The new variance bonus, you know, with the new program that we just launched with the LA Plus, it's insane. It's only been out 2 months. Insane. Record. I just wrote a newsletter for this today. Record amount of wholesale profits are going out, and the variance bonus is out the roof. But some of you guys haven't really got going with that, have you? Remember that? What's that noise? Well, is that you? Is that you? In opulence? So when I'm talking about student qualification, is a person who understands that busy, everyone's busy. Everyone's busy, right? I know people got 3 jobs, they get things done. I got people who are on welfare, they're too busy. Everyone's busy. It's not an excuse. You decide to open up a business. It takes about 15, 20 hours a week, part-time to do this. Find the time, but that's tough. Embrace tough, because that's where everything is. What's wrong with tough? Right? You know, I think the biggest problem with MLM is, and I've been talking about this for 30 years. The biggest problem with MLM is people's perception is that's supposed to be easy. The biggest problem with MLM is you always got the story that somebody made a gush of money, made millions, and you talk to the person, they're not really that qualified, they really do that much. Somehow the world kind of, because it can happen in MLM. That cannot happen in a job, cannot happen in traditional business. But it could happen in MLM where you kind of get positioned and then you get a bunch of people coming underneath you. Next thing you know, you're making gosh of money, you got a pin, and all of a sudden you're perceived to be an expert. And you really don't know how you got there. So 20 some odd years ago, I did a report card for the industry that ticked off a lot of people, actually. So basically what I did was, I was angry that there was a lot of unqualified pins on the stage. You know, they don't even know how they got there themselves, but they're acting like experts, and a lot of people following the blind, right? So I took the top 1% millionaires, I broke it into 3 different categories. We're not talking about the 99% now, right? Took the top 1% in MLM, the millionaires, the income earners, and I broke them into 3 different categories. And 1/3 they got lucky how they got there. It can happen, especially in the binary system, right? A couple of people here, we got them in our business. People will tell you, they're honest. Is, look, I didn't do anything for years and I got paid for years. So it happens. It can happen. It's rare, but that's the problem. People look at that one story and then they think, well, then it can't be that hard because I see that person. They didn't work that hard. So you know, maybe I don't have to work that hard, and they don't get the same result. And all of a sudden, I guess I'm not good for this. You take the wrong example. So Wanted got lucky. Wanted worked really, really hard. I've had some students who became multimillionaires in MLM, not because they understood the industry, but because they would hit the phone 15, 16 hours a day. They were young, not married, whatever, travel a lot. I did that. But that's not really duplicatable, is it? And they finally got some traction, but then they're exhausted now. If they lose that opportunity, it can happen. They can duplicate that again for themselves or for somebody else. People can't work 16-hour days into an MLM business. So that's a 2/3. So 2/3 of the top 1%, they got lucky, they work, or they're just hard workers, but they cannot duplicate it. That means they can't teach you how to get there. They got the last 1/3 of the 1%. I built 5 multi-million businesses in MLM, right? So that the last 1/3 who understand the MLM, the human element, the framework, you put them in the right opportunity, the right timing, they build it. So anyway, I was talking about the blame. 50% I said it goes to you, right? 25% goes to shady compensation plans. You know, they just, you know, there are, when something's really good, there's a lot of bad things come along to try to mimic that, right? So you can, unfortunately, a lot of people join these companies and realize that they have a difficult time building it. So I won't get so much into that. There's a lot of Ponzi schemes that come out that looks good up front, shady companies. So it's not all your fault. There's a lot, there are some elements out there, right? And the last 25%, training. People follow the wrong trainer. The pin I was talking about. The guy makes a lot of money, so he must be an expert. No, actually, it's funny because people don't even have to make a lot of money and they could become an expert all of a sudden. Mark Yonell, God bless him, he says something funny. You know, he had that Idaho accent. And he would say, Remy, you know, it's a funny industry, you know. A man can go and fail in 10 deals and write a book, and he's an expert. He used to say that. He's right. You know, people who've never built anything, they write books all the time. You know, every week, you know, every month. That's the only way they can make money, right? They can't build a team, but they can write books, right? They take some stories from Ramin, from Forensic, or this and that. All of a sudden, they can write a book, and they're trying to make money for that way. Anyways, the last thing we're going to finish up with, we're running out of time here, is that people always tell me, they can pull the student qualification thing. Always tell me is, you know, I want to do this. And they're genuine about it. They really want to do it. And I asked him, so okay, what's your first target? Oh, 10,000 a month, 10,000 a month. It's like, it's the first threshold, the $10,000 a month, the very first threshold that everybody wants to kind of reach and grab, right? So and they act like as if that's really not a lot of money, right? Because the comp plan pays a lot more, has a much bigger potential. So at 10,000 a month, they're not giving a lot of respect. It's the first place they want to go. So I kind of surprised them with that. It's okay. $10,000 a month. So what makes you so special that you think you should get $10,000 a month? They're like, what? Yeah, what makes you so special? 10,000 a month in most of the world, that puts you top 1% of the population. What makes you so special that you need to be part of 1% and not part of the 99%? Why should you not be walking on the hot coals that 99% walk on? That you have to be flying on air with the 1%. What makes you so special? What makes you better than 99%? And for years, I asked that question. I even asked a question from legends like Larry, and I didn't accept their answer. I think I have the right answer for this. It took me years to figure out. And the answer is one thing: I'm willing to do what the other 99% are not willing to do. That's it. That's the only answer. It's not because you're handsome or your mom loves you or you go to church every Sunday. It's because God loves you. None of that stuff, right? It's good, but none of that stuff. There's only one answer, right answer, why you should be for the 1% and not the 99. Because you're willing to do that the 99% not willing to do. That's what the 1% do. They're doing things that the 99% are too busy for. The 99%, well, that's tough. The 1% are embracing tough. I don't like to get a rejection. It's tough. Embrace tough. That's where everything is. It's in tough land. Everything you want, desirable, the dream life, it's in the tough world. Tough country. What's wrong with tough? Why does it have to be so negative? I don't like tough. But yet the same person goes on the treadmill, killing himself for about 60 minutes. That's not easy. It's tough. But you know what? They embraced it. They embraced that tough. They're just not embracing the tough that takes them to the million. You know what's tough? Working 40 hours for 50 years and retire broke. That's tough, but they embraced it. They embraced it. They're just not embracing this tough. What's wrong with tough? You already know how to handle tough. Raising children is not easy. If you have a child, you know what tough is. You've embraced tough. And you've got the rewards, the love of a child. Embrace tough of MLM. And get the rewards, a lifetime where you have access to the life's full menu. Life's full menu. Everything that life has to offer, and not the little section that you see right now. With that, I'll pass the call back to our fearless hostess at 4 a.m. She is in Kenya hosting this, and I'm so proud of you. Back to you, young lady.
Thank you, Sir Ramin. And yes, I am having goosebumps. Always hear you talk is just setting the right mindset, the right energy. And we are really thankful to God to have a CEO like you. And thank you so much for sharing with us how to focus, be tough, and then the growth happens. And that is the first step of forensic networking and evolvement, and then setting the momentum and becoming a leader, and then the forensic ambassador. It was a great honor to be trained by you when you were here in Kenya. And I saw the shift I had from setting a goal and making it my promise list. So thank you so much. And